Welcome back, guys, to the Ear to Love podcast. Here, this is your co-host Brian, and my co-host,
James. um,
and today we are talking about something that has come to both of our attention, and James, I guess, would like to talk about a little something today with that. So
yeah,
go
it's
ahead,
pretty
James.
weird not being the host today. But as Brian forgot to mention, we're gonna go to break, and when we come back, we're gonna start talking.
I always been that type of kid that find somebody better than leave her cause of all the pressure. Niggas think it's really funny when they play around. See a chick cause she dick, tell her slow it down.
One. Let's give a special sponsor, Springfield Best One, Springfield Beast Stone. Check her out. Check out her Instagram. That's Springfield Best One. She also got a YouTube channel, Bonnie Stone. Check out her music. It's mad good. And I'm actually in this music
Fire.
video. So go check it out. I'm right there. And make sure you go watch their podcast too. Bonnie Stone and Miss Phenom, Crushing the Culture. And make sure y'all go watch their videos. Watch, and follow her on Instagram. So today's episode is, it's gonna be me and Brian. We're doing a lot of features. You're gonna see a lot of those to come. But let's just dive into it. So today we're gonna talk about some girls at Brian's school, and it's actually difficult to talk about in terms of how everything went. And I always make an effort to just kind of balance out the stories, so not put too much of my emotion, but I'm gonna talk about how I felt and stuff like that. So again, to the first one, let's give them names. One was what would I say their name is?
I guess we can call them M and B or something. I don't know.
I'll just call one, um, I guess Ashley, and one Charlie, I guess.
So what? We're just taking names of random girls.
So let's talk about Charlie first. So I started talking to Charlie. I know I talked about this before, but I'm gonna go more in depth with it. I started talking to Charlie June, May, and uh, Brian, put me on, and I just thought she was really beautiful. So I went out and I basically just shoot my shot, basically, from the jump, and everything was good. We did talk for, I think, like every day and stuff like that. And so when it came down to the time where I was just like, do you want to get serious, right? And she tells me like she just didn't want a boyfriend at the time, but Brian had informed me like she tried to get with people in the past and it just didn't work out for her. So she was kind of on like position that I was in, I guess, if that was accurate to say, like her trying to go after somebody else. I was doing that, to like going after her. And so the first time it just didn't work out, but we were vibing. I mean, everything seemed cool. We were flirting. It just was going good. That's what how I saw my point of view. So then after that, um, she told me that we stopped talking for a minute, and I started talking to her again. And this was probably like days or weeks in between. So I started talking to her. Yet again, I tried to shoot my shot, and I know I think I kind of did wrong there, but at the same time, like I really like I was dating her, and like she was really what I wanted. And unfortunately, the same result. And then the third thing, same result. And it really wasn't like me shooting my shot. I was like, one time I was like, "Do you want to FaceTime or call or whatever?" And she goes, "Nah." She's like, "I hate FaceTiming people or talking on the phone." So for me, a big deal breaker to me is I like to talk on the phone because you get more of a conversation than texting. Texting only gets you so far. You can have like hours worth of texting and like 10 minutes of talking on the phone. So like to me, it's like I said, like being able to talk on the phone, hearing their voice is just great, and you build a bond more on that than texting. So that kind of drew the line for me. But kind of how I felt was, you know, you say all these things, like you say I'm like attractive, you say that I'm a cool person, and then you don't want to be with me. And somebody told me after a podcast, you know, after we got off air and everything, like they say they're not ready to date, but it may be because you're not on their mind. And it just never like clicked with me. Like guys who like guys who do their best, who are the perfect fit to be a boyfriend, and they just they don't want you now, or they just don't want a boyfriend now. But in reality, it's just like they don't want you, and it sucks because all these good guys who are up to the task to do it are always picked last or always overlooked. And so a few months after that, I would say going into the new school year, um, I was informed that like she was gonna get with somebody, and this is like something that I've heard, and I don't think it ever happened, but at the same time it kind of hurt me because like you could have gone back to me and said, "Hey, James, like I know like you try to give him like maybe you just want to start talking again. Like I'm willing with you are, but it kind of sucks is if you like the attention so much, just say that. Don't just be like, oh, I'm just not ready. But yeah, you still want me to flirt or talk to you or whatever. Like you're saying you don't know what you want, so you're saying you just want the attention. I don't like my time being wasted. I don't like wasting my time on someone putting my feelings thinking that you feel the same way. If you're flirting back and you're saying all these things, oh yeah, you're cute, whatever, then that gives me an indicator that you like me back and you have feelings. And that just kind of like pisses me off. Like I get mad, but I get mad at like at a certain extent where I'm just like, it's not even worth it. So I kind of felt like, you know, I was just kind of like upset because it was something that like I really like this girl, and you do the best that you can and it's never enough. So that's one story that I had with one of the girls out of school. The other one, I guess I'll call her Ashley.
Honestly, before you start that, just after you saying that, James, kind of got me thinking. I had the same situation in my school with a girl. I really like this girl, and I'll be honest. You might think this is crazy. I probably already told you, but I went after the girl for almost 2 years, and it's just on and off, on and off. And the thing I remember, like I gave her a rose on like Valentine's Day or something, at least an attempt to. And just this year, I think maybe a couple months ago, I finally posed the question, that like I told her I like her, and I told her my true feelings, and I got friend zone. It hurt. I was very hurt from that, and yeah, it was tough. But even with that, that's what, honestly, even though the gym has been a part of my life for other reasons, the gym, I feel, with all my past, that's become my biggest drive. Because for me, there's pain in every lift. Every time I lift, there's pain. And, after these past 4 years of going to the gym since I was a freshman, I've just always, it's just always been something. I look at myself back 3 years ago, I say, man, that guy was small. That guy was really small. And
No,
now
no, it was.
and now I look at myself now and I'm just like, wow, I did that. And for me, I keep on going to the gym every day, and I always think about that. And then I think back to school and a lot of the girls to W, and I'm just like, man, why can't I get appreciated? I've done all this, and
It,
really hurts me.
yeah, it pissed me off because like I'm different from Brian when it comes to like angles of trying to get with a girl or just the type of person. He's way nicer than me. Like he's more nicer to me. He's more committed. He's more loyal than me on all levels. And even if I went to hit like even if I strive to be on that level, it still wouldn't be good enough because look at where he's at. So it's kind of like no matter what you do, you're not like you just can't. And what also like struck me was this, like, why do I always got to text you first? Why do I always have to hit you up? Why do I always got to make the move first? And it's just like, all girls like is attention. If they're not getting it from the guy that they like, it's just attention to them. And like, if I say you're beautiful, if I take this, I don't have to do that. I don't have to text you to see if you're okay. I don't have to text you to see how's your day going. Who else is doing that for you? Because the guy that you clearly like or isn't doing that, or isn't even giving you the time of day. And it gets me mad, because it's like, it's never good enough. And even with like, I hate to like go off topic with a girl from a different school, but same thing. Like, she told me today, like, oh, I don't know what I want right now, but you love when I talk to you, right? It makes you smile. You want, like, it makes you happy. But if I get you to that happiness and you still don't know if you want me or not, or what you want at all, you're never gonna want me, because that's literally what I want to offer to you all the time. And if that's not good enough, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
and it's like,
yeah, it's just like, for me, and like I completely relate to that, because for me, yeah, James, he talks to all these girls and tries to see everything, always does never ends right for him. For me, I'm usually only get talk to one girl maybe every couple months, sometimes every year or so. I kind of try to minimize my options, because I have so much that I'm doing in my life that I just try with one girl and see how that goes. And because I do that, I put all of my attention into that one female, and then in the end, it just doesn't work out, and then I'm hurt. So I go to the gym.
yeah, he has that like thing. I don't do that. I cope with it in a different way, and it's like, I kind of hold it on it, hold it all in, and especially just going back to like my ex. Like, I will definitely dive into that in another episode, but my committed level was like, the only time she can talk was late at night, and I stayed up 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and some nights she wouldn't even text me. And you could just say, "Oh, that's simping." No, because you want a guy who would do that for you, and it's just like, it sucks, because even on school nights, I'll stay up just to talk to you, because that's the only time that you could talk, and I'm willing to adjust to that. And it's
and obviously one thing is too, kind of reinstating from our very first podcast. That just shows nice guys finish last. People consider simping is like what you're like a wuss.
they objectify it now, and then they're like, "Where's all the good guys at?"
You're pretty much you're sucking up to a girl, and they call you a simp. But at the same time, that's the same nice guy who would be willing to give you everything.
And see, the thing is, people will say, "Oh, after this, like, oh, James, you're desperate," or James, you're trying too hard, or you keep looking for people, you keep talking to different girls. Well, that's my life. I choose to make the decisions I do, but it's not about desperation, or I've actually like taken the time to get them to know these people. And the fact is, like, it changed me as a person to where, and I hate to say this, like, part of me doesn't have like a heart anymore, because it's like, why you hurt me, it's okay for you to hurt me, but the minute I say something wrong or make something get you mad, I'm a bad guy. So it kind of puts me in a position where like I start talking to maybe a few girls, or like I don't know, like, because at this point, like, I know none of them are gonna work out, and I've just kind of been in a phase where I just like talk to people just for fun, or I never fully commit myself, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to get hurt. I've always put people's feelings before mine, and I would sit and hurt, and I'm not intentionally hurting other people's feelings. No, like, I tell them from the get-go, like, what my attention is. But girls, and then leading into the second one, I think with her, I talked to her one time on the phone, and it was for like an hour, and another girl from his school. Nothing really bad about her. I mean, what she was saying was valid. Like, she wanted to focus on what her grind was and all that, and it was nothing bad with her, but it first didn't work out. But yeah, again, you said I was cute, kind of flirting back. I don't know if you would consider yourself flirting back, but kind of doing that. And my thing is this too. If you ask a girl, I usually do like, oh, send me some pictures of you so I can save them, and I just keep them, because they're cute. Like, I want some pictures. But when you ask me, can you send me pictures of yourself? Because I was looking at the messages again, and I'm like, oh shoot, she did ask me all that. I sent her pictures, mad pictures of myself. So it indicates to me that you may be feeling me too, or that you like me back. But it's that again, now you're saying like, I'm sorry, it's just I'm not ready. You're not ready? Why don't you just tell it to my face that, oh, I just like your attention. I like that you're giving me something that nobody else is. I'm okay with riding with that, but I just don't want to be with you. And it's like they don't say that because they don't want the attention to stop. And then it's just like, I'm not using this platform to bash them. I'm not doing that.
No,
I'm just using them as examples. Maybe somebody else has gone through the same thing. Brian turned that craft or anger or hurt into the gym. May have been for different reasons, but that certain day, that girl just hurt him. I'm going to the gym. I'm gonna start doing all this. I'm gonna start doing all that. And it sucks is this dude is probably one of the nicest, most down to earth people. And even if I try to get to where he's at in terms of emotionally on a level of being loyal, it still won't be good enough. And it sucks. And I hate to use them as examples because they'll go back and just be like, why would you say that? Well, it's the truth. It really is the truth.
And I'll be completely honest. It's funny to me, but this episode, I really told my true feelings about just overall, like everything that has happened. And honestly, like this is probably the truest I've ever been.
Yeah, and this is the truest that you got me, because I'm saying all this stuff, and I'm using my platform not to like I said, not to bash anybody, but it's the truth and how I felt, my side of it. And I'm not always gonna tell you that. I'll just say it's okay. Oh, but you're butthurt or whatever. I'm not butthurt.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking the truth.
People always want to feel good about themselves, but they never want to have others feel good themselves, basically.
Yeah, and so
no one cares about how the other person feels half the time. That's just the facts. People, humans, just humans in general, it's life or death. It's pretty much survival. A lot of us care about ourselves, and even though that's important to care about yourself, still there's other people who you may show attention to that may like you, and then you just turn them down because you think they don't matter as much as you do. That hurts them. Not everyone's robots, guys. People have feelings.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. Like, I'm not picky on who I date or who I find attractive. I've learned, like, if I find you attractive, I just find you attractive. And like, it's like you say you're not ready, but, and this is what she said, and I quote, I'm trying to have a hot girl summer. And it's funny. You have time to flirt with guys and waste their time, or at least do that with me, but you don't want to sit there and build a relationship with them. That's the difference between me and you. I sit there and I take the time to build a relationship because I'm investing in you. I invested time and money into girls, and it's at the end of the day, you have to question yourself, is it really worth it for that certain person? The person I brought a promise ring for, she broke up with me, I think a couple of days after, because I was either moving too fast or whatever. I found out after that day, or a couple of days after, she started dating somebody. I know for a fact that they were flirting while we were dating, and she broke up with me for that reason, not the BS reason that she told me, because they started dating and they were flirting. And why would you invite them to not sort of like a date, but basically a date, and you do that, and then you end up dating them? Like, I'm not stupid. It's like you could tell me like, oh, go ahead.
No, we see that. We're not stupid. You may think you're slick or something, just like doing it and say, "Oh yeah, everything's okay. I'm happy now." We see that.
Yeah, and it sucks because like I have that mentality like I'll end up finding out stuff about you. If you're talking to another dude, I'll find out. And it's just like I hope whoever you end up like, even with that girl who just told me that today, was gonna give her boyfriend who cheated on her 3 times another chance. 3 times, not one, not twice, but 3 times. Was gonna give them another chance, but not give me a chance. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what's wrong with it. It sucks because it's like, after you tell me that, it just shows what type of person. Yeah, you're loyal, but you're loyal to someone who isn't even loyal to you.
Exactly.
It makes sense to me. I'm not the fool. At the end of the day, I'm not the fool. And it's just like, now I'm not gonna talk to you now because you said maybe we shouldn't talk to try to figure out what I want. That's never gonna happen. If you don't want me now at the happiness that I'm giving you, you're not gonna want me ever. And this is an episode where like I really wanted to dive in and like expose my feelings and kind of explain everything, because it's kind of like some of it's out of pocket, some of it's kind of unfiltered, but that's just the truth.
And just lastly, it's just like saying with me, for me, my successes in the gym have now reflected how I am in school and like just out in public. And because of that, there's a lot of people maybe coming to me and they say, "Oh, look at you now." And a couple of years ago, they're saying like, what are you? Like, what are you?"
Yeah.
No, and I look at that and say, "Well, you didn't say that a couple of years ago."
And I always joke around with Brian, if like one day Brian became famous, how many girls are gonna try to talk to him again that he wanted to be with? You only bring the only thing you can really do in this life is just, I don't know, wait for the one to find you or whatever. But like I said, like I'll repeat this again, because they might hit me up after watching this and be like, "Why did you say that about me?" Like I said, I'm just saying the truth and how I felt. I'm not saying your name. I'm not exposing you. I'm leaving out certain details so that people don't know it's you. But at the end of the day, you're gonna know who I'm talking about. And the other girl, like Ashley, like I was saying, like just trying to take craft to her own time. I totally accept that answer, because you're doing what makes you happy. That's the difference. You're doing what makes you happy. And that's all I could ever ask. But the other one, I don't know. Maybe you really just wasn't looking for a relationship. Maybe you told me that. You didn't really tell me that from the jump, but you told me after the guy was flirting with you. So that's just how it is. And sometimes I look at girls that I try to get with and I see the boyfriend that they're with now. It's not. I'll tell you this too. And Brian knows, and I hate to say this. This girl I dated, right, for a while, she ends up getting with a guy who's like a redneck, Confederate flag type. I don't know why. Not my thing. But anyways, that's it with the podcast today. Kind of went off topic, kind of went on unfiltered, but this is definitely an exclusive episode. Definitely I got to lay out my feelings on that. Like I said, I'm not really I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. They're both beautiful people, but that's just how I felt in the situation. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me that. But So that's the moral. Brian, any last words?
No, I think I've pretty much said everything I have to say this podcast. And like I said, everything's from my heart this episode. Nothing's fake.
Yeah, and it's definitely kind of definitely unfiltered, definitely like that. But like I said, that's just our viewpoints. That's not that's not what you may think have happened. But you gotta live life. You gotta keep moving. And like I said, I gave both those girls 3 times. 3 times. See if something was there, and it wasn't. But that's it with the podcast. Thank you so much for listening to me bicker and rant and say my emotions. It really is appreciated. Drop down in the comments. Any last words, Brian?
Nope. Like I said, if you want a feature, just add my socials.
All right. Peace. Stay blessed. Stay alive during this pandemic. We'll catch you guys later.